Let me tell you something. When it comes to Howie Roseman and the trade deadline, specific players could be available for the Philadelphia Eagles. And defensively, this would be a huge move.
We better turn. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So a lot to discuss regarding the trade deadline and players that, at least, for the Eagles, I think they're always active during this time and always looking for certain trades. Now, obviously, free agents could sign wherever they want if they are available, hence why last year the Eagles picked up Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh when they were both free agents, and, Jordan Davis had the high ankle sprain, and then we created so much depth at that position last year. When it comes to the secondary, definitely a lot of things are in question here because I don't think the Eagles really have that hybrid player that can play corner and can play safety. Not signing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that kind of falling through really screwed up a lot of things. I didn't think it would be a big deal, but it seems like as much as I want Sidney Brown to get a shot, they're not giving him a shot. Could play nickel because Justin Evans, I thought, has played pretty well. Not too bad. I think there were some missed assignments here and there, but I think Justin Evans as a veteran safety, I think is playing really well. Obviously, this safety room definitely loses touch when Reed Blankenship is not in the mix. Definitely miss a heartbeat there. And what could be available out there for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's, Jeremy Chinn, that had, the Eagles had interest between the analytical department, the Howie Roseman fist bump video that, pretty much, went all over the world, and everybody, made the Eagles look like a fool on social media because of it. And the regular draft department, that went for best player available, and he was on the board. They didn't pick him up. And then the analytical department wanted something else, and apparently the analytical department won. And thank God we're not drafting like that anymore, which is great. So the Eagles might have a shot here by the trade deadline from now until week 9 of the trade deadline to go pick up a hybrid player that we really need, because we don't have anybody that can play multiple positions, really. I mean, Terrell Edmunds, maybe, but I'm just not a fan of what we have right now. Not entirely, but I feel like Sidney Brown just needs a shot, and they're just not giving it to him. The guy had 177 snaps as a nickel corner. I think he was third in his conference in coverage from, led in deflections from the nickel spot in his conference from that position. But I don't care what these guys did in college, okay? Even with Sidney Brown's case, I think it really comes into the fact that, have they cross-trained certain guys at the nickel spot? They could play safety, they could play inside corner, outside. I thought they could have got Frank Clark. I was a big fan of Frank Clark the past couple seasons to play safety corner, like a guy that can move around the field, because really Chauncey is the last guy we've had. Malcolm Jenkins was a guy that moved around, kind of covered up the bandages to this defense. I'm not saying this defense is bad whatsoever, but we're already waiting for Nakobe Dean to come back to the linebacker spot right now. And you're like one injury away at linebacker from really being in trouble at that position. So I didn't think the linebackers played horrible last week, but definitely need Nakobe Dean to come back at that position. But I think a guy that, I think the Eagles missed out on the Isaiah Simmons for a 6th-round pick or 7th, whatever it was. I mean, that was a total steal. That's a hybrid linebacker. So, could play multiple positions, could move him around. I think that's what the Eagles need. I think that's what the Eagles are missing from this defense. And now, I'm not saying that Jeremy Chinn is not playing very well right now, and Bryce Young, the quarterback for the Panthers, he's out. I forgot what he has. I think it's an ankle sprain or something like that. So they've lost. They've been 0-2 so far. They faced the Seahawks this weekend and could be 0-3. I think the more that team is playing bad, the Eagles could take advantage. Howie Roseman could take advantage of that and say, you know what? Let's try to make a trade. And, he's only getting paid $2.9 million for the year, I think, base salary wise. And I think he's cap number for the last year of his deal. I think the cap number is only $3.5 million, 3.3 million, which to take on that is very cheap for the Eagles, and would definitely like to extend him if that's the case, and kind of, get something out of it. So I would love for them to be active during the trade deadline. I think they will be active during these weeks. I think this is somewhat of a wait and see approach, or maybe it's not. Maybe the Eagles already have interest in specific players for trade. The Eagles have 10 draft picks next year, so they have the draft capital to make something. What is it going to cost for Jeremy Chinn to be traded? I don't know. Maybe a fourth, maybe a fourth round pick this year, next year, whatever the case may be with that. I think the Eagles are lacking players that can play multiple positions. I don't want to be. We've always been one of those teams where guys are cross training offensive line. Offensively, guys are cross training offensive line, or receivers could play 3 different spots. You always want guys to always cross train. Defensively, I just don't think we have that. I think once a guy is down, then we got to move somebody else, and then we had 2 undrafted rookies, undrafted guys at least play last week with Mario Goodrich and Josh Jobe getting his first chance at outside cornerback. So to not get into these situations, as well as I think that it's great to give these guys opportunities to see how well they do. And you never know later on when they get, if they have to, move up into the starting lineup, it's nice to have those guys on your roster. So when it comes to a potential trade target for the Eagles and Jeremy Chinn hasn't really done too much this year, doesn't really matter. I mean, it just depends on, it could be a horrible defensive scheme. Trust me, when we picked up James Bradberry, before the Eagles picked up James Bradberry, he gave up over 800 yards with the Giants the year prior, and has been a Pro Bowler since 2020 before we got him. So, I mean, it just depends on where you're at with the team. And I think the Eagles will have to look for, maybe in the future, I don't know. I really want Sidney Brown to get thrown into the fire. And I think Justin Evans hasn't played that bad. Because Avonte Maddox is hurt now, instead of sacrificing James Bradberry to the inside, they're not playing Eli Ricks inside because he's mostly an outside cornerback. So I don't think they've cross-trained him. So the lack of cross-training at that nickel spot, and they've only done it with James Bradberry this past offseason, is an eye-opener, because I feel like you need somebody else there that can play multiple positions, and Jeremy Chinn would be perfect for it. He's cost-effective. He's perfectly fine. The Eagles can extend him. They can do whatever they want. But I think that's what we're missing. Since Chauncey left, I think, and then when injuries happen, Reed Blankenship's out, and then you got to start moving guys around. And then, the good thing is Justin Evans is getting a lot of snaps right now. So if they made a trade like this, then you could, move Jeremy Chinn around the field and do whatever you have to do with him, while knowing you have some good depth that have a lot of starting experience in your back end, which is a great thing. So I think the Eagles need that hybrid type player. Been saying it, for the past week and a half, couple weeks. We're only going into week 3 right now, so I think this would make the most of sense when it comes to trading for a guy like this. I know I've kind of been all over the place with this, but it's true, man. And I think that certain guys on this roster just need more reps, because when you get into your first game, and it's like I said, it's only week 3, but I think this defense will start to gel together a lot nicely over the next few weeks. But if Howie Roseman's not sure, or if Howie Roseman thinks that this team is going somewhere really far, okay, he will make the trade. He will make somewhat of a trade for a safety or somebody of a hybrid type player. And I think Jeremy Chinn is perfect, as of right now, for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I would definitely look out for this name in the coming weeks and just see what happens. It might not happen tomorrow, might not happen next week. It could happen, a few weeks, a month from now. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? The next few weeks, it will be very crucial to see where this defense is at and how many more injuries pile up, and guys that are healthy, see what this defense looks like, and we'll find out what happens. So should be interesting. Now, I want to go over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Monday night with the injury list from Thursday, Friday. You have Kalijah Kancey at DT with a calf, did not practice. Linebacker Servosa Dedis, hamstring, did not practice. Cornerback Carlton Davis with a toe, limited. Now, Vita Vea, it's going to be a bit, for Jason Kelce, it's going to be a good matchup because he struggled against him in 21 when we faced the, Tampa Bay in the wild card with a pectoral. He was limited. Safety Ryan Neal with the ribs knee injury, he was limited. I think Vita will play. I think Vita will play. I'll be shocked if he's not going to play. Ryan Neal will most likely as well. The two new injuries are right guard Cody Mauch and linebacker Devin White, which is a big one with a groin injury. Now, it doesn't say if they didn't practice or they were limited, but these, I guess, were new on the injury report Friday, so we'll see how that goes. From what I'm hearing Devin White might not play in this game, and if their Cody Mauch isn't playing either, it's definitely a little bit to their offensive line. You had Ryan Jensen, that was their starting center, I think, for the year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had some knee complications. He had surgery last year, and then I guess they put him on IR in August because of a really bad knee from surgery or something like that. You had Russell Gage, Chase Edmonds. Both guys are on IR as well. Russell Gage was one of the good receivers for the Falcons for a few years. Then went over to Tampa Bay last year and had an okay year. He only has 3 catches for 28 yards so far this season, so I don't know what the injury is or what's going on with him as of right now. And then Chase Edmonds had an MCL sprain and landed on IR and only had 4 carries for 20 yards within the first 2 games of the season. So there are injuries for Tampa Bay, and could help the Eagles benefit, I guess, within the secondary for Tampa Bay. But we're kind of just, from my perspective of going into this game in general, I think it goes, I'm more worried about this offense than the defense. As much as it sounds weird at times, I have good resume with at least this defense going into this game. I feel like we're going to play really well. I think we play too much zone. I don't think we play enough press. And, depending what they're doing with Bradbury, depending if they trust Mario Goodrich that much in the nickel spot, we'll find out if they're going to actually move James Bradbury around. And with Mike Evans, you got, Godrich, you have a bunch of guys here with Godwin and everybody else. So, I think, the offensive line is banged up a little bit. I think this is the best team I think so far on their schedule. This is the best team that Tampa Bay is going to face within the Philadelphia Eagles because they beat the Vikings. Yeah, they beat the Chicago Bears, and they're a complete mess right now. I think this is the best defense, probably the best offense. If the offense plays up to par this week, it would be a lot better to say that they're playing the best offense, but hopefully it doesn't look vanilla. Hopefully it doesn't look regular. Hopefully it's not just a 3-yard pass to a receiver, tight end screen, or a QB design run from Jalen Hurts. He's already getting hit the past couple weeks so much. So we're praying that we have, I think the offense has been playing better the past couple weeks, but it's still not there yet. We're not at the peak level yet. I think this is a game where Hassan Reddick's going to have a couple sacks. I feel like he's going to get involved here. I think, DeAndre Swift is going to have a pretty good game. And I think Jalen Hurts should have over 300 yards passing in this game. I think A.J. Brown's going to have his best game against Tampa. I think it's A.J. Brown's turn because Devontae Smith has the compression sleeve on his right leg with the thigh ankle injury, but he is playing Monday, so I don't know if he's going to be fully 100% for the game. But, we don't know what's going on with Quez Watkins with the right hamstring. Zacchaeus, is going to get some snaps, which they'll probably bring up. If Watkins can't play, then they'll probably bring up Greg Ward as the number 4 and keep Zacchaeus as the 3. We have a new punter in Braden Mann that's playing this week, a brand new punter, new holder for Jake Elliott. So there's a lot going on here, but I think this, as much as everyone thinks it'll be a slugfest, I heard that during the half of that game, I heard there's going to be some type of weather, rain or something. I don't know how bad it's going to be. Some people are saying it's changing every day, so hopefully the weather is not bad. Since we are away, we are playing in Tampa, so should be interesting. So feel really good about it. I feel like the Eagles are going to win this game, and I feel good things are going to happen. So other than that, guys, pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about just the trade deadline. Who would you trade for right now? What do you think the weakness is to this defense? Do you think a hybrid player is needed for this defense? Do you think Jeremy Chinn is the perfect trade to make with the Panthers? The Panthers are 0-2. And by the way, the Panthers have lost The past couple weeks, they lost to the Falcons 10-24. They lost to the Saints 17-20. And now they got Seattle. They got Seattle. They have some teams that they got to face. So we'll see what happens for a trade. Maybe as the Panthers get worse, it'll be better for us to make a trade easily. So if the Panthers feel like we're gonna get a good pick this year, I know it's very early, but maybe by week 8, maybe right before week 9, they make a trade for him. Hopefully our team is still we're playing at a good pace with less injuries by that time, but we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow, so I peace out, guys. Peace.